Good morning from Sydney. This is my personal story, not a promise that everyone will achieve the same results. We suggest you decide together with your doctor, nutritionist, and family. With the help of ChatGPT, we transformed a highly controversial idea into a practical way of living that changed my health. Today, my purpose is simple: to help improve metabolic health for anyone, anywhere, in any language. In January 2024, parts of the dietary guidelines for Americans 2020 to 2025 were increasingly being criticized as outdated and potentially misleading. So, with the help of ChatGPT, we designed what I called the resculpturing diet. It challenged conventional dietary guidelines and immediately became highly controversial. But despite the criticism, we believe the science was worth exploring. So we began. What I did eat in January 2024. First, we set my daily protein target at 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram of ideal body weight. Almost immediately, a professor of medicine in Sydney warned me that much protein could cause constipation and damage your kidneys. I included healthy fats, extra virgin olive oil, ghee, and butter. Critics told me, no, it must be low fat. Eat margarine. Ghee is a recipe for a heart attack. Half my plate was filled with leafy green vegetables. Again, people objected. That is too much fiber. You'll suffer bloating. I ate live fermented foods, yogurt, kefir, kimchi, regularly, not merely as an occasional treat. I included oily fish such as sardines and wild-caught salmon. And my drinks were simple: water, black coffee, and green tea. Almost every choice was questioned, but we continued. I sharply reduced sugars and refined or starchy carbohydrates. Not every carbohydrate, because vegetables, yogurt, and berries also contain some. A dietitian challenged me, but the brain needs carbohydrates. I replied, the brain can use ketones for much of its energy. And when the body needs glucose, it can produce it through gluconeogenesis, something I learned in physiology many years ago. For a moment, she was silent. I also avoided ultra-processed foods, even though they were tasty, cheap, and convenient. I chose not to use canola and other refined seed oils. I avoided added sugar, excess fructose, and any product marked as low fat. These foods were familiar and widely accepted. Walking away from them was not easy, but we continued. What I limited in January 2024. Alcohol was only on occasions, not daily. That decision was challenged by one of my colleagues, who told me his cardiologist had previously advised him to drink red wine every day, and he believes that it was cardioprotective and could help protect his heart. At that time, this was widely repeated message. A little red wine each day was supposed to be good for you. But I decided not to treat alcohol as medicine. By now, almost every part of the resculpturing diet had attracted criticism. Still, we soldiered on. Then came our breakthrough. In 2025, a major peer-reviewed meta-analysis examined 174 randomized controlled trials. 11,481 participants from 27 countries. The findings lit every bulb in my brain. Compared with higher carbohydrate diets, carbohydrate-restricted diets reduced triglycerides, raised HDL, the so-called good cholesterol, improved several measures of inflammation, blood pressure, body weight, and waist size. There was an important caution. LDL cholesterol rose modestly on average, particularly with stricter ketogenic diet, but ours was a low-carb diet. But after so much criticism, this study gave us powerful scientific reassurance that carbohydrate restriction could improve many important markers of metabolic and cardiovascular health. This was published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. It was the moment low carb became a winning diet for me. At the same time, one of our viewers, Shimazu Yumi from Vancouver, offered another idea. Why not explain low carb to the Japanese way of eating? That simple suggestion gave birth to our new book, Low Carb Diet Made Simple, the Japanese Way. We wanted to show that low carb did not need to be extreme, complicated, or limited to Western food. It could be adapted to familiar foods, cultures, and traditions. Our purpose was simple: to help anyone, anywhere, understand low-carb diet. At 3 o'clock in the morning on 8th January 2026 Sydney time, I awoke from a dream. I reached my phone, opened X, and could hardly believe what I was seeing. In Washington, on 7th January, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was unveiling the new dietary guidelines for Americans 2025 to 2030. They prioritized real food and protein, recognized healthy fats, and called for major reductions in highly processed foods, added sugars, and refined carbohydrates. Many of these principles we had defended since January 2024 were now appearing in official US guidelines. It felt as though low carb had finally been given wings to fly. But do not simply accept my interpretation. You view the evidence, you judge. By July 2026, our viewers, many of whom speak English as a second language, began asking us, can you make everything simpler so we can share it with our children and grandchildren? Shimazu Yumi and ChatGPT went to work. Together, we created 6 plus 6, a healthier you. 6 lifestyle changes supported by 6 real foods to help nourish the body, support metabolic health, and build a healthier future. Then something beautiful happened. One grandmother told us, I made placements and put them on our dining table. Now as a family, we discuss which healthy foods we have missed that day. The father told me, We keep it on our fridge. This is when I realized this had become much more than my personal health journey. It had reached families, children, parents, and grandparents learning together. My heartfelt thanks to Shimazu Yumi and to ChatGPT, my education partner, for helping transform a controversial idea into something simple, practical, and free for everyone. Helping people improve their health, anyone, anywhere, in any language, 247 is now our passion. Thank you for listening.